my thugs, nerds, freaks, and geeks? You're now rocking with the best of Don, Tony, Teflon. As always, if you didn't, please subscribe, click that bell so you'll be notified every time we go live on a new video. Rocking with me, as always, is the one, the only Phil the Issues guy.
Great to be here, Tony. Great to have our Sundays parties back and the best pre-show, the first pre-show around. We're here.
Original pre-show. The original.
And I can't wait to get into this pre-show. People, if you guys want to call on in now, you can start leaving your messages early. 781-990-8509. We'll be taking all your voicemails, your thoughts on tonight's episode. Tony, it's just really great to be back talking about Westeros on Sundays.
It is 100%. We will have Bridge 4 in the building. We'll have Gray Area in the building. And a couple other people will be joining us in a little bit. But we're going to break down what we think is going to happen this episode. We're going to talk about that. And, and we want to hear from you. So without further ado, let's do it. Sundays are back, it seems like, Phil. Let me turn that camera.
You're like, I don't want to see Phil.
Oh, shit, they do rather see. But Sundays are back. It feels really good to have Sundays back. A Sunday event show. We haven't had an event show like this in a very long time. And it's great to have an event show, you know what I mean? Something, like a Super Bowl.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's missing. And it's not that great series aren't released on the Netflix or the stuff that's all released in a big binge, but I feel like you miss some of and even when stuff is released at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m, I like it when something comes out at a very specific time. I hope that's the future of these apps, that that stuff does get released weekly, but it gets released weekly at a certain time where people can gather together and watch it.
No doubt. We take the first super chat from Kelly Johnson. Thank you very much. I want Kristen Cole to get hands on Daemon again. I think that's a good possibility of that happening. So we shall see about that. How do you feel about Kristen Cole, Phil? First, let's go through it this way.
Yep.
We didn't see a lot of them. The actor planner. You didn't get in the first episode. We didn't get a lot. I'm sure we're gonna get a lot more. But how did you feel about? See, it's hard to tell because I don't know if it's him actually doing the stunt work in there or if that's a stunt person in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think the look is down right to what the look of the character should be. I want to hear more about his connection with Dorne because it made it seem in the first episode that at least Rhaenyra thought he was from Dorne. So I think what I've seen so far in the melee, in the battle, I enjoyed him in his action, and that's why I get your point. Was he doing the action? Probably not. Probably a stunt person. But I think out of all the characters that was introduced in the first episode, he's the one I'm not quite sold on yet because I just haven't seen enough. So I'm going to say to be determined on that one, just because he's so passive in the first episode. It's almost like a cameo, like, hey everybody, here I am, and walking by. Sorry about the sun right now. I'm under the it's the wrong time of day and the sun's shining here. It should change.
It's perfectly fine. No one's
it works for this show. It looks like I'm up in the clouds.
I agree. I haven't seen enough of them, but the look I think is on, right? I think the look he has is on. I think that part of it works. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of them. What up to Matthew Spruce? And he is watching from the Teflon TV Facebook page. If you can't make it to YouTube, you can always watch it on Facebook. It's live there every week too. Make sure you go Teflon TV Facebook and you sign up and you hit that thumbs up button and everything else. And also, as you can see, there are members here who are actual members of the channel, like Kelly Johnson's a member of the channel. You can be a member of the channel too, and you get a lot of great perks by being a member of the channel. Like I'm going to tell you one right now, like top tier CJ. He's a member of the channel. I'm going to tell you one of the things that's going to happen. We are doing a lot of interviews. I will be doing a lot more interviews and having people come on this pregame show to do interviews with. And when they do, when I put the chat out there, most likely when it comes to ask some of these people, not all of them, but but some of them, it's going to be members only asking the questions because there's maybe too many people in here. So make sure you're a member, man. It doesn't cost that much. It helps the channel grow. And make sure you hit that thumbs up button right now. The most important time to hit it is right now. So to spread this across YouTube right now. We got over 120 people in here. We should have over 120
Nice.
likes straight up. You know what I mean? Coming right in there. Let's say what up to some of the people in here right now. We got Mod Mary in the building rocking with us. KJ is in the building rocking with us. Why So Curious is here. Mike Knight is here. Member Edward Martin's here. Member Kelly Johnson is here. Jackie C is in the building. AK Watch is in the building. We have a bunch of people. Thank y'all all for showing up. As Noah is in here rocking with us. Lady Stonehearted Kim G is in here rocking with us right now. Vaughn is in here rocking with us. And we get so many people in here. We'll give out some more shout outs later. Obviously, if you become a member, you'll get an instant shout out for becoming a member and everything else. Again, as Phil said, call in. This is a call-in live stream. Want to hear your questions and your thoughts. 781-990-8509. It's on the bottom of the crawl. If you can't get it, you know what I mean? But we would love to hear that. All right. So let me say this real quick. Public Freakout Cringe says from season 2, win. That's another show that I cover.
That's
right?
so perfect that you mentioned that right now.
Yeah. So next week.
Okay, I'm going to do something about the light. I'll be right back.
All right. Next week, we're going to be doing, me and Phil are going to be interviewing another cast member, main cast member from next week. All right. Without a shadow of a doubt. It's already set up. They're on set. This person's taking time off set. And next week, we'll be interviewing that cast member. So make sure you're subscribed. And we're going to put that out there. And I can't wait for season 2 of From, but I'm going to ask this cast member that exact question when we get them on there and see if we can get some type of time conference and everything else like that. What up to Breaking Chains? What up to Tony Sled up in the building? All right. So as we were talking about a little bit earlier. So
did you announce who it was?
No.
Okay.
No announcing of who it is. Not yet. None of that. All right, so let's go through some of the characters that we've seen in episode 1. Now that we had a chance to actually see them and we could talk a little bit more about them and how we thought that they came off for the show. Obviously, for whatever stupid reason there was, Corlys Velaryon was a controversial, not for the right reasons, character. People saying that, hey, let's be honest about it. A lot of people in certain of these fandoms didn't want a black man playing that role. All right, we have now seen the black man playing that role. How did you feel about it, Phil?
He was one in the small role that he had, and I'm trying not to. Yes, I'm going to talk around it. You're in a safe place right here. I'm going to talk around episode 2, but out of episode 1, he made the most out of every scene. His scene with the Queen That Never Was one of my favorite moments in the episode. I enjoyed their interaction back and forth. It has and again, just to get this down to the basic level of what my theater teacher said, right away, can a character fit in the costume and play the part? And he is one of the best actors on the show, and it shows through. And he does action. We haven't seen that yet, but he has a history of action. And I think when you start seeing him move around a little bit too, you're gonna be impressed with that too. I think he looks great, sounds great, delivers dialogue better than anybody on the show so far in the way of bringing gravitas to it, because he's doing the most with the least right now. At least in episode 1, he had probably, from some of the more main characters, he had probably some of the least dialogue opportunities. But I think everything we saw in episode 1 is interesting, and he carries a lot of menace and history within his character that I can't wait to learn more about. I want to as far as we can never stop talking about this as long as there are idiots out there fighting the fight, but let's get down to the real thing of like his character, and his character is making me salivate for where it's going to go.
So I think that when you add, this is the thing about diversity, and this is the thing you get when you add diversity into shows. You get different attitudes because people have been through different situations in their life. Now, I'm not going to call out anybody out there because it's not right for me to do it. But like when you see me and Philip on this piece in Bridge 4, when he gets it, he'll be here. He'll be here. Don't worry, he'll be here. When you see us up on this piece, we ain't like your average run-of-the-mill other game of Thrones people because we have different backgrounds. We have different takes. We grew up in different spots. So I got that Queen stick right here. He got that Boston swag right there. I'm black. He's Jewish. He's been through a lot of different things, right? So we get all that. Bridges from New Jeru, right? So you get that when you're dealing with different things. And I think it comes across because a lot of these characters feel the same when you see them in Westeros. It's like the same old Northern man. You know what I mean? The same old guy from the north, and they act the same, and the same old Viking style. But when you see him, number one, his presence on screen is just amazing. Like he takes over the screen as soon as he's in it. It's all eyes on him. Point blank. It's not even close. Anytime he's on screen, no matter who he's on screen with, the screen is his. Period. And that's what you get when you deal with people with that. So you see him sitting up in that chair. Like you see everyone else sitting in the chair. They're sitting in the chair. This dude's sitting up in there.
Yeah, like this.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's black for you, baby. He all laid back. You know what I mean? You see everybody else is sitting up straight. That's what I'm saying. That's what you get when you have diversity and everything else. And that's what makes him doing such a great job in this and everything. I could not be any happier. We're going to go through all of them and everything else without a shout out. Kelly Johnson, thank you for the super chat. Phil's looked like he should have been in the doors. He may have been.
I might. So you think I should be dancing in the desert naked with a Native American? Like, oh, I'm on acid. Whoa.
Singing, come on, baby, light my fire.
Yeah, singing like my fire. I could do that. I could do that. I take that as a compliment. Come on, baby, light my fire.
Without a shadow of a doubt, you know what I mean? But yeah, so that's what I take from him.
That could be a good song for House of the Dragon. Come on, baby, light my fire. Maybe I have to think of a song in there. I got to think of a Weird Alice song. Give us "L.A. Woman." Maybe I'll do that. I'll look into some weird karaoke with House of Dragon stuff.
And let me say what up to Audrey McConnell. She's a member, and Carla Way. She's a member. Edward Martin. He's a member. We all become members. Let's hook a brother up. Let's get that memberships up. Let's keep it going and everything else. Let's try to get those things popping. Let me see if this is Bridge hitting me up right now. Let me see what the hell this man is saying.
But yes, when it really comes down to it, besides all the obvious stuff of people's whatever going into this casting, the actor itself, when you see him on screen and you hear him deliver dialogue, you just see how much he's adding to the part. And that history, that swag that you mentioned also works extremely well with the Velaryons in the history and how much power they've had historically in their relationship with the Targaryens. And the fact the fact that they were Targaryens without dragons. And so I know there's differences, but in the sense of like the power and that dynamic they have, and they're older, it's like Hydrox and Oreos there. Like they kept moving it on, and Hydrox might have been the originals, but Oreo's like, oh, you know what? Screw you. We're gonna put you in the corner there to a certain extent, and maybe it's not exactly like that, but there is a little bit of that too. And I think he's playing that so well within the margins of his character. So I think that's one of the things that I love most about his performance so much. So much of a great actor is in what they don't say and what they don't do, and what you can just read in their face instead of being told. Show not tell. And I think he, in his expressions and his reactions to other things, I think feels more alive in this world than I'll say about some of the other characters that feel like at least in the first episode, they're still getting used to the world and feeling like they're a natural part of it, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does, 100%. All right, let's talk a little bit about Eve Best. Now, I'm going to have to say, we got a new member. I got to put this on real quick. We got a new member here. As soon as you get a member, we going to put you up. And that is the Cakester Who Rides. I love you, Cakester.
Nice
Who Rides. Thank you so much for becoming a member. 100% love you, and thank you so much for becoming a member. I truly, truly appreciate it. It means the world to me. Without doubt. Kelly Johnson has a super chat. Are the Velaryons a majoritized Valyrian house? I don't think so. I don't think they've ever been looked at as that one of those. I think that they just weren't dragon riders. So you look at just because you were a dragon lord, I guess, it doesn't mean that you are, I'm sure in your own head that you are the the biggest shit in the world because you're a dragon lord. But
Yeah.
other people who had money, other people who did things that weren't always dragon lords and stuff, right? And as we see in the House, Velaryon is the richest, most wealthiest or man-made dude. He made his house that wealthy. He went out on these voyages and did all these discoveries and got all these treasures and came back and operated a business and did all this trade so that he can become, the man that he is and
And I
stuff.
don't want to
And make
spend.
his
I know we're going to move
family
to
a
a
man.
move to a different character, and we have a voicemail. But that, and don't you think that comes through so well in his performance that he's been through all of that? It's so effective in the way he's presenting it. Tony, we do have our first voicemail though, and this is from area code 404.
Hi, this is Marcus Jones calling from Atlanta. I just wanted to make a comment about Corlys Velaryon and how awesome he is. I think that it's very awesome to see not only a Black character on screen, but I also think there's something about Corlys that's very interesting in that whenever he walks into a room, his presence commands the room. And in every scene that he's been in so far in the show, that is easily felt. And I really respect that from Corlys. And I really think that that kind of presence, like Tony alluded to, is because he's been through different things, he has a different background, and because he is the leader of his house, he represents that house in every form and fashion, and so I really love that about Corlys, and I cannot wait to see him and his family and all of the Targaryens. Those are the two Valyrian houses, and so seeing a presence from both of those houses, especially the Velaryons, is going to be interesting to see. And as a book reader, they completely nailed his character portrayal and character presence on the show. Doesn't matter what color he is. This portrayal of Corlys is how I would see him, and I am so glad that they did him well in this show. Thank you.
No, thank you for the call and great call. And I 100% echo everything you said there. His command, his presence, everything about him. And you can tell that this actor, he enjoys playing this role.
Yeah.
If you listen to the interview that I did with him, and go listen to it, you can hear him saying, "These are my things. This is my house." He's calling the set. This is when they come to my house and they see this. Like, he wanted such detail so he can get into it. And you can see how much he truly enjoys playing the role. As Phil said, he is a great physical actor. Go watch The Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
Go watch that fight scene with him and The Prince of Persia. And you'll see what he's capable of.
People are sleeping on that just because they haven't seen it, for a reason. Like, when he busts that out on the show, it's gonna be great.
Right. You're gonna see it. Let me say, I got new members here. Aegon the First. Thank you so much for becoming a member. And we also have another new member, Makeup and Theory Latoya, the Face Slayer. Thank you so much. Cheers to you for becoming a new member. And someone asked, can you gift memberships? Yes, you can gift memberships. So if people want to, you gift memberships, you could definitely do that 100%. All right, and that's right. And as Jackie C says, please, we have no spoilers, spoiler-free zone, no spoilers going on here. All right, we're gonna move on from him. I could talk about him all night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we could do
and be like that other dude. If you have anything to say, put it in there. 781-990-8509. All right, definitely do that. All right, Eve Best, let me say this. I got to get this out the way, so that everyone knows I'm not capping out here. I've had a crush on Eve Best with Nurse Jackie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really not gonna lie. Everything about her. When I see her in Nurse Jackie, I loved her. I still love her.
Now I'm gonna say to the audience, I'm gonna let you finish, Tony, but make this happen for Tony, guys. Make this happen. Tweet at her, send her videos of Tony doing this wonderful presentation here. So sorry, Tony. Sorry.
Oh no, I loved her so much. You know what I mean? And I'm so happy that Steve gets to rock with her. It makes me think that I'm rocking with her. But I love her so much. And she's so beautiful and so just elegant in everything that she does. I just love this woman. I think that in this role, we haven't seen a lot of her yet, but what we have seen in her, she is just just amazing in this role. Just amazing. I can't say anything more. There's nothing I can say about it. Phil, I'm gonna have to let you take it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to repeat myself too much with Corlys, but she also made the most out of every scene she had, and again, without talking, we got that whole intro section, which with the prequel thing where we get the flashback to the Council of 101, and within that, without saying much, she adds so much presence with just her looks and her style. So it fits so perfect with that she's partnered with Steve, and they work so well off of each other, even in that scene where they're going back and forth in the joust, and just to kind of add a little bit more texture to the world. So I love her. I also am a huge fan of Nurse Jackie. I feel like it's a show that gets slept on a little bit because of how good Edie Falco's previous show was. So people forget that she's done so much amazing work, from Oz to that, to the show she did, a couple of other shows she's done on FX as well. She's one of the more talented actresses, and Nurse Jackie was just a show of incredibly talented people doing some real effed up stuff. So it was, one of the most fucked up shows I've ever seen in my life, but it was a great show, and she was exceptional on it. And again, she just has another gear as an actress. Some of the actors on this show, I'm not sure what they can do. And what's funny is I've seen a lot of those actors, and they're proving it to me. They're earning it. But Steve and they are professionals that when they have their moments, they're gonna destroy. And I just can't wait to see in the next couple of episodes her doing some more and getting some more time on screen to really, and I mean this in the best way, eat up the scenery and take the focus onto her, Tony. But yeah, I'm super excited about her.
Yeah, I can't say anything more than I've already said. She's just amazing. Another super chat from Kelly Johnson. Thank you so much. See, where's the homie Mushroom at? I think we will get a Mushroom call. It won't be anything special, but I think they'll have someone in there to and that will play Mushroom. I think we will.
Do you think it misses Mushroom at this point?
No, we don't need him. He's not important like that. He's just a side piece, I think it'd just be a wink to book readers to have him in there.
And it adds a little humor here and there that could add some levity to it, especially as the season goes on. And
I think he'll be in there for that. Elamar's in the building right now, rocking with us. You know her from the Lady and Dime podcast. Everybody who's a member, put in the LMR emoji in the chat. Let's spam those out so LMR can see herself in the LMR. And listen, you become a member, you get the chance to have all these emojis. And as soon as I get enough members, I can add more. I got the gray area emoji. I got the whole Direwolf City podcast emojis already done, waiting to upload them. I can't do it until I get a certain amount of members. But make sure you put in there spam the LMR emoji. Let her know that we got nothing but love for her there. All right, let's go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say we have another voicemail, but I just want to screen it first. Let me.
All right, yeah. Well, while you're doing that and stuff, we will definitely talk about all the characters that you want. Again, make sure you call. You know where to call in. Call in. It's the episode 2 live, the original pregame show, the best pregame show. You know where it's at. Subscribe and thumbs up the video. The number to call in is 781-990-8509. Make sure you call in and do that. We are waiting. Make sure you thumbs up this video. This is very important. We need to have all the likes we can. We have over 200 people in there. In order for us to get more, we got to have the likes on the video, because we know other people copy the style, do the same thing, go on the same time, you know what I mean, purposely. So we got to try to combat that, and the only way to do that.
I don't know anything about that, Tony. Area code 702. We got a couple of voicemails. Thank you guys for these voicemails. This is a horrible troll message here, but I had to play it anyway, Tony.
Hey, it's me. I just love you guys so much.
Oh, thank you. That's great. We appreciate that.
We do, and we love you too. From our sister podcast right there, Alicia calling.
And this is area code 312. We love you too, Alicia.
Hey, this is the Texter Ride.
I always wonder her voice.
I don't have so much.
Yeah, didn't the Cakester come from the After Darks originally?
She does come from the After Dark shows, yes.
I remember.
And again, we will be doing the After Dark again, but the After Dark will only be a member thing.
It's the best way to not lose subscribers when you do it.
Yeah, we're just gonna do a member thing on it because it gets a little raunchy. There.
Yeah, you have to go. You have to enter there if you want to enter.
Yeah, you can't just stumble upon that shit.
Okay, sorry, Kickster.
Much of a question is more of a statement. I guess it is a question. Am I the only one that's paying close attention to the maesters along with Sir Otto Hightower because of the insinuation from Barbara Dustin about how the maesters are the ones that get a lot of this shit cracking? So, yeah. Is anybody else paying attention to the maesters and how they're interacting and intertwined in the story? That's it.
Well, thank you so much for the call. So I would say yes, I am. I just did a video on LML's channel, and the video was you drafted who we thought was responsible for the Dance of Dragons, who's the ones who set it up. And my number 2 pick was the Maesters. I think the Maesters set this whole thing up just in order to kill the dragons. I think you can see it when it comes down to this wound. I don't think they're treating this wound that the king has properly, and I think they're forcing it to force the succession hand to start this whole inner Targaryen war, because just like you see in an Avengers Civil War, the only way to take down the Targaryens is to have them take down each other. So I 100% think the Maesters are dirty as fuck. What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, I'm gonna just show 2 comments from the live chat to answer that question. The Maesters are always up to some kind of skullduggery, and yeah, they're suspect. So yeah, that 100%. I think they've made it a point. If there was any gray area, pun intended, if there was any gray area in that, the perception of that from and I know they're different universes, but I think seems obvious in the air and the way that you can smell someone in a poker tell. You can smell something on this maester, and this Grand Maester. And again, I don't know the source material as well as you or Bridge or some of our amazing guests that we have. And even I'm like, this guy smells. This guy smells. This guy stinks. He's bluffing. So there was some hinky stuff. It was a quick rush to we need to cut her open, and that was a quick little thing. I wouldn't trust these maesters, and I think your assumption that they look at the dragons as something that they want to get rid of is a very probable speculation.
Oh, we got a new member right here, and it's Mod Mary. Thank you so much for becoming a member, Mod Mary. Truly appreciate it. You get the slug of this one for you.
And we do have a couple more voicemails. Let's see if it works out this time.
Hey Phil, hey Tony. This is Audrey calling from New York, Syracuse area.
What was that, Tony?
Let's stop it for a second. She forgot who I was. Did you hear that?
No, I don't know. Was she giving you?
Hey, Tony.
No, I think she was giving you the double hey, like she was extra excited. And in fairness, it is my voice you hear on the voicemail, so it could be like, oh hey Phil, and then let's hear it again. Let's listen again.
Hey Phil, hey Tony. This is
okay. Wait, there was a little bit, but I think maybe she was just more nervous saying your name. She was more nervous saying your name.
I'm teasing you.
It was her first call. Give her a break.
I know, I'm just teasing. You know, this is what I do. I play Audrey's call.
From upstate New York, Syracuse area. I just have a quick question. I want to know who you think will be almost like the underdog actor. Like, who is the actor who is portraying, whoever, doesn't matter, but who do you think is somebody that we're not all talking about already that is going to really surprise us later on in the show? I'm excited for everybody, but I want to hear what you have to think, and super excited to be here, and thanks for doing this. Yay. Cheers. Happy Sunday.
Well, thank you for leaving. I'm saying Don Tony Teflon's in upstate New York. I was in Syracuse. I think 2 weeks ago I was out there. I was in Canastota at that there for the Boxing Hall of Fame. I go to Canastota every year for the Boxing Hall of Fame. I was up in there, so and I'd be in Utica area a lot of times. So I'd be all over the place in upstate New York. So familiar with your area. I will say, when you look at the show itself and you say, who could be the sleeper person that we don't know that's going to actually do something with an actor that's going to do something. I think Massaria is one that we haven't seen a lot of, but she has a very important role to play. I think when she starts doing her stuff, I think that's going to be exciting. Also, a character that's not going to be in this season, and I'll put his name is Hard Hugh Hammer. I think that he is going to play a really good role when they cast that actor, because he has a lot of meaty parts that's going to go on. But for the people that we have seen so far, I would say Lady Misery, I think, is going to shock us. From what we've seen of her, we have seen nothing but her backside, which was a good side. Don ain't complaining of that. But I'm saying I think that she's going to be a sleeper. What do you think about that?
I mean, in threat to just say a character we already talked about, I think Corlys is definitely going to surprise people because of how his character has started out. He's tiptoeing in, a little bit in episode 1. I think by the end, he's going to be someone that they've talked about a spinoff series around. So I think he's definitely going to be something huge on the show. Someone in the live chat, I want to mention a couple people that a bunch of people are saying Mr. Cole over there, and some people are saying Aemon One Eye. I've heard that as well.
Well, he has a lot of stuff. I think Aemon actor will steal the show. That's what Kelly Johnson is saying right here on the super chat. I think he has the stuff to do it. When it comes to his character and the meat of his character, he definitely has the stuff to do it. Will he do it? We got to see if the actor. I haven't seen this actor do anything yet, so it's hard for me to say it. You know what I mean? But does he have the stuff to steal the whole show?
Yeah. Does he have the material? Yes.
100%. 100% he does. You know what I mean? But will he actually pull that off? I don't know. All right, we have our first guest joining us right now, and it is someone from Direwolf City. Yes, it is the one and only Alicia.
Hey. I love the little golf clap. Hello, Phil. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Phil. What happened?
No, she said hello.
Hi, Tony. No, Tony, we talked this morning. Hey, Tony.
We did talk this morning. We did. We did talk this morning. All right, so
Alicia, we had a three-way with Gray.
We did have a three-way. Don't tell everybody about that.
Okay. All right.
You wacky kids in your three-way.
Yeah, that's the way it's some after dark stuff. We can't be talking about that. But all right. So we're talking about right now. He's saying an actor that we think is going to come up that no one's thinking of is going to steal the show, steal it with their performance. Do you have any idea who you think that could be?
I really think it's going to be Eve Best. Like, I know I keep saying like Rhaenys, Eve Best, but I'm just going to echo it right now.
That's you, Eve Best. Yeah, I think she does. I mean, we can't get into any spoilers, but yes, she does have a lot to steal the show. She has a lot. So I mean, when they bring up Aemon One Eye, yes, he definitely has probably the meatiest stuff to do that could steal the show. Every one of his parts are going to be crazy. You know what I mean? So he definitely.
Are we surprised?
We're not talking about any of the stuff that they're doing.
Okay.
No book.
Okay.
Saying,
well, I'll also say, I don't know about Up and Coming, but just the performance that I saw this last episode, I am really blown away by Matt Smith and his performance. And literally, my only critique is something so small and mundane and something he cannot help as a human being, which means it's not a real complaint about his performance at all. But
you have me curious. What is it, though?
When he is commanding his gold cloaks, when he has to project his voice, he has to use that higher register, so it doesn't sound incredibly menacing.
No,
but that's fine.
It sounds a little Ramsey-ish to me, like when Ramsey's everybody, like it is that higher register to a certain extent. Tony, we do have a voicemail here. This is from 817.
Hi, friends. This is Cece calling from Texas. Yeehaw! First of all, thank you for your podcast. Amazing. Love you guys. I just want to shout out to the amazing tourney scenes that we got so far. And it would have been me if I didn't mention the parallels to Ashford Meadow, seeing a Targaryen prince with a badass armor on the floor, yielding to a very low birth night. So looking forward to everything, but I just had to say that. Love you guys. See you soon.
Thank you, Cece, sir. Miss Duncan the Tall, that is in the chat. If y'all want to know who Cece is, she's Miss Duncan the Tall in the chat. We're going to talk. We're going to talk about that too. I want to talk about the actual the tournament, the fight, the jousting scenes, and everything else. But before I do, I want to say this because Alicia brought up Daemon and when he was commanding the Gold Cloak. So I did have one person come up to me. And I was talking about the show, and they said that they did not like the Gold Cloak. The scene that they didn't like was the Gold Cloak scene. They said that they felt that it was just gratuitous violence for no reason, and it just didn't hit them right. So how did y'all feel about the Gold Cloak scene and them going off there and creating a menace and a muck in there? Did you have the same feelings, or did you like it?
I think it's supposed to be over the top because I think it's kind of written that way, that Daemon is a villain to some, a hero to others. It talked about how quickly he cleaned up, as he called it, his brother's city. And I would imagine you can't go about cleaning up a whole city on some PG-13 shit.
Yeah. 100%. And I think also we need to know that Daemon can be that guy. They needed to show us something. It's like, I don't want to ruin this series. It's like when you're watching The Boys season 3 and the first scene is something very disgusting. If you've seen it, you'll know what the scene I'm talking about. And they have to do that right. Before the hero gasm, like the one with when someone goes up something, when we get the what people want Thanos to do, like, and that happens in the first part of the first episode to show you the intensity, show you how far the show can go. I think in a sense they wanted to show you that Daemon can be that guy, and how far they can push. And as Alicia was saying, we were supposed to feel uncomfortable there. I think it was supposed to give that emotion. Not everything's supposed to make us feel like shiny, happy people holding hands. Some stuff's supposed to challenge you and make you feel, this is because you're supposed to feel the impact of what he's doing there. So I think it was very effective in what it was trying to do. I don't think it was gratuitous. I think it was you could make that argument a little bit with the joust scene a little bit with how many people died in that scene but they did have that, the dialogue to go along with it. But I would say the scene with Daemon, no, I thought that was perfectly done and made me feel uncomfortable in the way I should feel uncomfortable.
Well, I think too, they're trying to, like, the whole premise of it, and I hope it's not a spoiler, but I would also hope people understand the premise by now. It's setting up for a Targaryen civil war. You're supposed to wonder who the ops are. You're supposed to. So is Daemon one of the main factions? Is Rhaenys, the queen who never was, one of the main factions? Are we supposed to be super concerned about the way Corlys put his hand over his cup because it's reminiscent of, Roose Bolton, who's the bad guy? So I think we're coming out the gate seeing that Daemon is very much a force to be reckoned with, and we're supposed to keep our eye on him.
Yeah, I think it was a plot device to give Otto Hightower something to complain about, right? He needed something to complain about. Not only did he need something to complain about, he needed something to complain about that could be looked at like, yes, he did go over the top. So Otto's just not making stuff up. He's not that crazy saying this stuff about him. Yes, Daemon did go a little bit too far. Did he play judge? Yes. Did he play jury? Yes. Did he play executioner? Yes. He passed sentence on people. He cut people's hands off, cut the dicks off, cut people's heads off. He lost his mind. And then he went and celebrated in the brothel after, So yes, he was hated by the people he did that to, but he was loved by the gold cloaks and stuff. So, you know, it's do gold cloaks lives matter? Is that what this situation is going on when they show it like that? And look, we have Omni-Man in the building.
Oh no, Omni-Man, don't do anything evil to us, buddy.
I'm scared of Omni-Man.
I am. I'm totally not messing with. I'm inherently scared of J.K. Simmons since I've seen Oz. Whenever you're ready, Tony, we have a couple of voicemails.
All right, let's take this real quick. For Akeem Hands React says, "Hello, thank you for doing the show. I have a question about Lenore and Laenor. Too young. I thought they were older than Rhaenyra. So I think that in the books, when the whole situation goes down, she's supposed to be like what in the beginning." 12 to 14 years old when it first starts off. So I don't think she's too young. And they're going to do an age up. So if we're going to be specific about the ages, then Alicent is supposed to be way older than she is right now. Right? So I think they did that to make them more buddy, to make you say, oh, these girls are friends. And now they're no longer friends, you know? So I think that's why they mess with the ages a little bit. Anyone else have anything to say about the age?
I think there's going to be enough talk about the age in the coming weeks that we'll get into that again later. So I'll hold off on that for now.
All right. So we just take a voicemail. We have a voicemail. Let's take one.
Area code, but I think the ages work perfect. I think I like that they changed the ages of Alicent to make her more of a contemporary of Rhaenyra. I think it adds a lot of strength to their dynamic of a pair, of having that besties connection. I think it works so well on the show, and the two actors that have portrayed it so far have excellent chemistry. So I kind of like the changes with Alicent's age anyway. Here we go. This is area code 504.
Hey guys, it's Miss T again. Quick question. How many seasons do you think they need to tell this story without dragging it out too long and giving every character that needs it a good flushing out?
Dragoning out this too long? Sorry, that was bad.
Thanks. Keep up.
That's a bad joke. I'd say about 5 seasons, 4 or 5 seasons, right?
5 is what I would say. I have to say 5 seasons to do it, to end it well. That's what I would do. I would do 5 seasons. What about you, Alicia?
I say 4, because I guess in my head as I'm going through the story, like I feel like they're definitely gonna jump around with time this season, but it kind of seems like after that they're going to be able to be lax with time. But I say 4, unless they're going to show a lot of
10 episode 4, not the half season shit. You know what I mean? When they do 5 episodes and then you got to wait a year and do another 5 episodes, like 4 full straight.
Yeah,
10 episode seasons.
I think a lot of it's going to. Again, I don't want to say ask me again next week, but I want to feel like it's going to wait to see how the episodes, what kind of pacing this season has as a whole, and how much time they skip in between each episode to kind of truly answer the question. But with coming off episode 1 with the pacing, that seems like, I think I tend to agree. That's why I say 4 or 5 with what Alicia was saying. It seems like 4 might be the ideal if they slow down, take their time a little bit. Once we get to it a little bit, I think it may stretch to 5. Tony, we have a very special voicemail. This was from a very special creature wants to say hi to us.
All right.
Hey, yes, hello. I'm calling from Winterfell. This is Old Nan, and I wanted to ask, which dragon is your favorite? Mine is definitely Vhagar. I mean, she's the most majestic and stately. The female dragon is a real queen, you know, and I think it should be called the Vhagar Show myself. I wanted to ask you what you thought. Thank you for taking my call. Yeah.
You're welcome. You're very welcome, Old Man.
It's like water or something, vapor rub on her neck.
Yeah, there's something going on there.
Something in the throat. There's something in the throat of Old Man.
We got to get Old Man some lozenges. Let's get a super chat donation for Tony to get.
Yeah, we got to do something with Old Man. What's your favorite dragon? I mean, you have to pick a favorite dragon. I think everyone has. Alicia, who's your favorite dragon?
honestly, I don't think I've ever thought about it. I guess I've always had the most intrigue about Velaryon and Meraxes. But are we talking about our favorite from the dance?
I guess that's what the question is. I
Oh,
myself
okay.
truly, I'm not a favorite dragon guy. I wish I was on the. I don't really have one of these favorite dragons. I mean, if I had, I like Sheep Stealer because it's wild and untamable, and I like things dragons like that. I'm not really one of these. Oh, my dragon, it's my dragon. I wish I had that dragon. That's not the Don. Don doesn't get down like that myself. But. If I had to have like one of the dragons, I want Sunfire. I want the most beautiful dragon of them all. I want the hottest dragon of them all. I want the bling bling dragon. That's what I want. That's what I want to be rocking on. Vega, I don't want no old dragon with a gullet. I want the one that's sparkling, the one that I can pull up on the chick like, "What up, shorty? How you doing? Jump on with me. Let me take you around the block a little bit. Let me show you what's up." That's the way I would have to.
So if I had to choose from the dance, I would say Caraxes because no spoilers. I think we all know Caraxes does some pretty badass stuff.
I always wanted Figment, or someone said Pete the Dragon, Puff the Magic Dragon was probably an accurate answer for me. I don't know. I have another question. I haven't put much time into it. I think I feel that way when similar to when someone asks me if I'm a cat person or a dog person. I say, give me all the furry stuff. I want to play with them all. Why do I have to fucking choose? Like, stay away from me. Don't make me choose between furry things. I like them all. So I kind of want to catch them all with the dragons. There's things and that's one of the things I'm most excited to see on the show, the different personalities, the intelligences of the dragons, which I said this last week as well. I thought was depicted exceptionally well in episode 1, better than all of Game of Thrones, the individuality of the dragons, even in the only two that we've seen so far. So I think I love them all, and I can't wait to meet them all. And then I'll probably have a favorite once I learn their personalities even more on the show and see how they're dictated. But I think for now I just want to play with all the dragons, even though
the dragon tamer job. I mean, wrangler job. I wouldn't want that fucking job. That's not a job I would want.
That'd probably be my job in Westeros. I'd probably be one of the I'd want to be one of the dragon tamers.
No, they just got a stick, man. That's all they got.
You bond with them. We got a good relationship. Me and the dragons are buddies. They know I'm no threat. I'm bringing their food.
That's why he was holding that stick to it.
I know.
That's where as Chris Rock famously said, "What's your that tiger didn't go crazy? That
tiger went tiger.
And that dragon gonna go dragging on your ass one day. You can't trust that fucking dragon." Let me give a shout out to my man LML, David Lightbringer's in the building, rock with us. What up to him? I see him right there. And I also see my man, John Delavento. See him in the building. I haven't seen John in the world. If you want to know who John Delavento, if you don't know who John Delavento is, if you ever hear the music that comes on, when you hear the Lady in the Don's music, and you hear any music that's on my channel, it's all made by John Delavento. So I know a lot of people have asked me, hey, where did you get that song from that plays at the Lady of the Don at the end of my videos? John Delavento, I brought that off him. He made that specifically for me and LMR. So that's us. So that's who John Delavento is. And he has a channel, and he does great things on his channel, and he breaks down the music that you hear in Game of Thrones and stuff, So it's a very interesting thing and what it means and why they play certain chords the way they do during certain scenes and everything else. So if you get a chance, definitely check out his channel and stuff and go through it, because he definitely he knows his shit. It's very interesting to hear that take of it. And he's the only one I know that has ever done a take like that for this show. So definitely with a big up to my brother right there and everything else. All right, so we're going through the characters again. If you want to call in, please do so. The number is on the crawl at the bottom of the screen.
We got 2 in the tank whenever you're ready, Tony.
It is 781-990-8509. We'll take one more. Gray Area is supposed to come on here soon. We're waiting for maybe 8 more minutes. All right, let's go with one more voicemail before we go.
One's really quick, and then we'll play the real voicemail. So both count, but here's one right here.
Hey guys, it's Ara. Just want to say I love y'all. Don't have much to say question wise, but so ready for episode 2 in a couple hours. Let's go.
Nice. Great to see Zebra in the chat.
Zebra, she should be on here rocking with us. She should be on here rocking with us right now. I know it's her boy's birthday, so let me say happy birthday. May you live as long as you want and never want as long as you live, little prince. All right, I know her son's birthday just passed. All right, so let's take another one because that was a quick one.
That's what I was saying. We had a quick one coming. So this is area code 773.
What's up, suspects? Look, long time member, not member, a long time commenter. How do you feel about this? Maybe, just maybe, these animals have turned the tide on human beings and have started like warging them when they felt they needed to, which would explain why Dany flipped out the way she did when she heard those bells. And, sometimes they just say, hey, this is what you got to do, so I'm going to go ahead and do it myself, which would also explain Daemon and his actions. How do you feel about that?
So what does he actually say? He's saying
I think he's asking, are the dragons sort of warging the humans and controlling the humans to their actions?
I wouldn't say that the dragons are warging the humans, but I could say that the dragons could influence human action. Like if you have a badass dog who bite motherfuckers all the time and you walking with that dog, you could try to pull the dog back and rein it in, or you could let that dog go wild, like, yeah, motherfucker, go, who gonna fuck with me or my dog? So I think it could be a situation like that with these dudes, with these dragons, like, yo, you think fuck with me? You see what I'm rolling with right here? You see what I'm rolling with right here? You know what I mean? You don't want none of this. I got my dragon eat you, son, and everything else. So I would think it'd be more of a situation like that, more than actually the dragons warging the human beings and stuff. That's the way I look at it.
I think there's a bond there. So I think they influence each other quite a bit. So I think what the caller was saying, there's a huge possibility that Drogon kind of went off because of the bells. So that kind of influenced Dany a bit. And it didn't help that she was already in a very grieving state.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's more of what he's saying. Like, yeah.
And to that point of, you can even think about the relationship that people have with their dogs. I know if I'm in a tense mood, my dog is pacing around the house and in a tense mood too, and then she's more to react negatively. Or if I meet somebody on the street that wants to do the dog introduction, if I'm tense about the meeting, my dog gets tense about the meeting, and then back and forth. If my dog is if there's a lightning storm and my dog is freaking out in the corner because she freaks out at loud sounds, I get tense and I start pacing around the house because I'm freaking out because my dog. So there could be some sort of symbiotic relationship that the emotional state of both dragon and human can influence each other back and forth when the two are bonded.
Yeah, Kelly Johnson, thank you for super chats. Amon's gonna sleep fools like Teflon's hands. Well, these hands are known for doing that. That's a known fact. I have slept many people, so we shall see. All right, so we're going through characters and what we thought about the portrayal, the actors portraying these characters. But before we do that, we're going to go into the actual scene that we talked about a little bit earlier when you get a chance, and that was the jousting. We're going to go through the whole jousting, not just the actual joust, but the whole thing, how it looked, the heraldry, all that stuff. Alicia, what was your take? We've seen it before with Robert Baratheon, and we've seen the Mountain and the Hound and the little joust, and we've seen it go down there, and then Loras Tyrell and everything else. How do you compare that to this? I mean, how did this make you feel?
It made me feel like House of the Dragon came out the gate with a higher budget than Game of Thrones in the first season. I guess I don't have a strong... I don't know. I thought certain elements of the tournament, I'm not saying it was boring. I'm saying I had no personal interest in a lot of what was going on. There was only so much exposition during the tournament. Like, I felt like it was more pomp and circumstance and introducing it. Just basically, like, if I could sum up the tournament as a whole, I'd say, in my opinion, its purpose more served like that meme of Leo pointing at the TV so that we can be like, ah, yes, these characters. Oh, it's a Tarly banner. Oh, it's a Stark. Oh, there goes his face. You know, I'd say for me, the most entertaining part was when that squire chucked his lunch after that one night got his face bashed in. I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion on the tourney itself, other than the introduction of Kristen Cole was interesting. I felt like they really wanted to accentuate his dusty ass armor as compared to Daemon, and how like he comes from nothing, but he, you know, I'll stop there because spoilers. But yeah.
Well, he whooped some ass in that tournament. All right, he came in as a mystery knight, you know, and oh my God, he's Dornish, you know, and everything. Like oh my God, he's Dornish guy whooping some ass and stuff. But you know, so let's go through it. Phil, how did you feel about the whole tournament as a whole before we break it down?
Okay, I have mixed feelings about it because I don't feel entirely different to what Alicia was saying. I think the most important thing I want to think from it is that visually it looked great. It's the budget thing was obvious in that. That was one of just from a filmed standpoint, the way that the joust was filmed from the perspective cams. I think what it was doing was getting us salivated again. I'm using the term salivated again, getting us ready, primed and ready for what action is going to look like on a big scale on this show. So you start out, when we look back, some of the angles, some of the camera way that the show was visually shot in that scene, I think is giving you the preview of what big battles are going to look like from the perspective of how they're going to shoot it on the show. It's like a early level in a video game when you're learning the tutorial, and then later it's going to be more expansive. I think that was, they wanted to show you what the special effects were, show you what they could do. But I could have given or taken it. I think the best part was the conversation between Corlys and Rhaenys. And I think obviously the parallel back and forth from the cut from the pregnancy bed to what was going on in there. I've joked about this before, but it kind of reminded me of the Glee episode where they're cut between Jesse St. James singing Bohemian Rhapsody and Quinn giving birth. But it was sort of like cutting back and forth to show to balance off both scenes. So I don't know. I think it was visually entertaining. I don't think it was necessarily my favorite part of the episode. It was a little like yay, good things flashing, yay. But I think it was a good preview of what the big battles are going to feel like on the show. And in that way, I think it was a huge success.
I agree that I think they did a great job with it. I thought the part where, when you see Daemon and he got hit and his whole body was all laying up on the rail, I love that shit. I thought that was amazing. I thought it reminded me of that what was it, that movie with Matt Damon that just came out, The Last Duel. It was very Last Duelish. Like they watched a lot of that and took some stuff from that, and that's what I'm thinking. A lot of things are going to happen in this show. Action scenes may look like The Last Duel. If you haven't seen The Last Duel, you know what I mean. I think that you might, if you go and you watch that, you may feel that way too. That's what they're going to look like. That's the look that they're going to go with. As for the costumes, I thought were great. I thought the reaction from the crowd was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I love seeing the baby Velaryon girl up in the piece, just sitting there watching everything. I thought that was amazing, the way they showed that whole situation. I also like the way they did cut back and forth and everything to the other scene. And we're going to talk about that other scene in a second. That was another controversial scene that I've seen people complaining about, saying that they should have gave a disclaimer for that scene of the murder scene, the murder birth. I don't know, the C-section. I don't know how you want to describe it or how you want to call it. But I mean, how were they going to do that? I don't know how they were supposed to do that during the show. But people
they pause for a second and something comes on the screen. What you're about to see is graphic. Please wait. I mean, you're tuning into HBO when you're watching a show that the main show is always something that had a graphic dynamic to it. What do you think you're watching? You're not putting in Bambi and watching Faces of Death. Like you're like thinking you're watching Bambi and suddenly like Faces of Death Volume 2 comes out. I mean, you know what you're getting in for to a certain extent. You're going to see some sexuality. You're going to see graphic violence on Game of Thrones. or House of the Dragon. You're going to see that in this world because that's the comparison to the real world. The real world association was like that during this time period. It was a bloody effing time, and I think that's well depicted on screen. And I it was horrible. It was uncomfortable for me, but I'll go to what I said earlier. Not everything you watch on screen should make you feel yay. Like that was supposed. That's a battle zone, horrible thing. People giving birth in there it was like playing Russian roulette. It was horrible, and I thought that was well depicted on screen.
I thought so. But my man Falon Speaks up in the building. He's definitely going to be coming on the channel without a doubt. He used to rock with me when we did Black People Talk Game of Thrones. He was on there with us doing that. Definitely going to have him on here on one of these pre-games and rocking with us and getting his speech with up to my brother and everything else in the chat. Yeah, I think that, when you did that, going back to the jousting scene real quick, I thought, again, the upgraded lighting looked better. Like Game of Thrones looked really gritty. The colors looked kind of muted, and I think here the colors weren't muted. I think the colors were better, like they were lit. You know what I mean? So I don't know if they shot it that way or they just pumped up the colors, but I like that look better than what we got in the Game of Thrones. And obviously, just the jousting was 1,000 times better. We got our next guest in the building, the one, the only Great Areas in the building.
Hi guys, hello my sweet summer children. What's good?
What is going
I love the
on?
way none of us are on camera. None of us women.
I'm sorry.
None of y'all
We have to
women.
do a lot before we go on camera. Give us a break.
Yeah.
You gotta do a lot.
A lot.
No, because I feel like you and Phil can kind of just like put on the headphones and go.
Damn.
And
Phil,
look,
I'm gonna tell you something, Phil.
I don't. Is that a compliment? Wait, is that a compliment or not? I'm not sure, Tony.
You've been throwing jabs at me since the threesome on the phone. You've been taking shots at me, yo.
I did not take a shot at you. You interpreted that as a shot.
Oh, I gotta go get some popcorn. I'll be right back.
I'm not even gonna talk about it. You goddamn know what I'm talking about.
Oh, there he is. There he
is. The one, the only, the Kaiser Suze.
My sun and stars.
Of the group is here rocking with us. The one, the only Bridge 4 has made it. Finally. We are
Sorry. What's happening, everybody? How pumped are you? It's House of the Dragon Day, or whatever the kids are saying nowadays.
Bridge, tell the truth. Did you see the leaked episode?
I did. A friend sent me. I actually reached out. I reached out to HBO earlier this week to try to get all of, like the episodes to people like us, and they just ignored me. But a good friend sent me a link today, so I watched episode 2.
Wait, so you didn't get back
They
yet?
ignored you?
That's not ignoring you. They didn't get back yet. You got to give people a chance, Bridge.
Dude. I consider. I mean, they had a full week. I consider that being ignored. You know what I mean?
Wow.
We'll talk about it off screen. We'll figure that stuff
No
out.
spoilers, right?
Yeah, no spoilers.
Of course, no spoilers. Of course, no
Okay.
spoilers. That's why we're just talking about what happened in the last episode and everything else. So everyone's already seen this stuff.
Yeah, I listened to the while I was like throwing on a new shirt and stuff. I listened to like the first 20 minutes of your stream just now. And you actually said, because I like when you were talking about Corlys Velaryon, you were saying how the three of us, at least, and the girls too, like we're from different places. And you said, I'm from New Jersey or something.
New Jeru.
New Jeru. What is that? I've never heard that term. What's New Jeru?
What
Is
do
that
you
what you
mean?
say?
That's what you call New Jersey, is New Jeru.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Wait. Hold on. It took you 20 minutes to put on a new T-shirt.
Well, I do 2x speed, so it was probably 10 minutes. But it was also, like setting up the camera and stuff. People don't realize how much goes into all this, like setting up the mics.
We were just saying that. We were just saying that.
Getting like my headphones to work on USB. Sorry, but we're distracting the stream. Let's get back to House of Dragon. That's my bad.
No, you're fine. You're fine. But yeah, New Jeru is the way we call New Jersey. New Jeru, baby.
You're muted, Phil.
I don't know how you don't know that, but now you do. It is what it is. All right, so what we're talking about right now, we're going into the birthing scene, the C-section scene. A lot of people said it was too graphic, too much to be shown on TV. How did y'all feel about? I didn't feel that way. I thought it was very accurately depicted. And I thought that the actress who played Emma did a great job. Great job displaying the fear on her face and not knowing what's going on, like the shockiness, like, yo, what are you doing? What's going on? Like, she played that amazingly and really been putting me in that scene. What did y'all feel about that?
I personally like that they included it because I think it brings up a good conversation. During the Direwolf City stream, both Ara and Nim talked about their experiences with childbirth. And me personally, I just thought it was awful to watch. And it's like, it's not that, okay, yeah, C-sections happen every day. Like, these things happen every day. But, like, just to visually see a woman not have, like, say over what happens to her body and then just rip her down off the pillow and not tell her what's going on. It was awful. Like, it's awful. But I think this is a powerful medium. Like, TV is a powerful medium, and it starts really good conversations. And these things, we need to talk about these things.
What about the direction? My buddy Milt told me that granted, he's a dude, I'm a dude, like, I don't know stuff. He said they cut the wrong direction to do a C-section.
Well, normally you would cut horizontally around the pelvic area, but in an emergency situation, they do cut vertically. Like, one of my best friends had an emergency C-section and hers is vertical, and it looks like she got hacked with a jigsaw.
IE0, I think, is the expert of this actually subject, and so I'm not, my kid's mom did not have to have C-section, so I'm not too familiar with it. But this has been going on. But it's a C-section. What's the term, from Caesar, from Roman times? Is that why it's called C-section? So it's been going on for a long time.
Oh, is that why it's called C-section?
Cesarean, yeah, Caesar.
Okay, real quick, sorry to cut you off, but yeah, when Milt told me they cut the wrong direction, he mentioned something about the Romans and Caesar. Now it's all making sense. Sorry, Tom. What were you saying?
Everything is named after that motherfucker.
Yeah, right.
That's how boss that dude is, man. It just shows you how boss he is.
Salad eating motherfucker. Tony, we do have another voicemail.
Wait, real quick. Can I address something about that though? So yes, I got a pop up. On your phone, it says, like, on the front screen, it'll be like website or articles you might be interested in, right? There was an article where people were triggered about that scene and not having a warning about that scene, right? So I was like, on to play devil's advocate, it's like, okay, on one hand, I'm like, whoa, I had never even thought about, like, being a woman, how that scene would be different. That scene might come across different as someone who's either had children, who's thinking about having children. So that was the first takeaway. However, to play devil's advocate, like, my other instinct is, like, they can't really give a warning for that type of scene. Otherwise, then before the episode airs, we know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? So, like, they couldn't really give a warning about it. I guess they could have given like a general warning, like, just a heads up, this is very adult. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's rated R.
Exactly.
Rated R.
But I read an article where the people wanted them to say that a baby was going to die. And I'm like, they can't do that. That would have spoiled the whole episode.
Yeah, Bridge, I was saying that a second ago. And like Gray was saying, they are giving you a warning by watching Game of Thrones on HBO. That's your warning that this could get graphic and this could depict some real horrible stuff that, as Gray was saying too, that can raise conversations. HBO has always been about that. From Oz, the Wire, The Sopranos, that's the foundation of this. Those are all graphic as hell shows, especially the first one, Oz. So I keep mentioning Oz tonight, but it's relevant.
I mean, listen, and stuff like Spartacus and shows like that. There's, I remember seeing dude actually spitting on his dick and then bending a man over, and you know what I mean? That's graphic. I didn't know when someone asked for no warning for that shit. God damn it. I would like to be warned. I didn't want to see that shit, but that's what it was. So I didn't think it needed a warning. I think they gave you a little bit of a warning because they kind of told you what was going to happen. You knew that they were going to do it and they were going to hold her down and everything else. And that was going to be it. They showed you that the guys came to the king and gave him a choice, and he chose to keep the son instead of her. Which is crazy that you would. That's, to me, that's just nuts. This is your wife. I know it's a hard decision to make, but I think if given a choice, most women themselves would choose the child over themselves. But why not ask her? why couldn't you just ask her the deal? Well, you think that she was gonna say, "Nah, get this shit out of me"? I tried. I ain't dying on this one. I already gave birth to August. I ain't going out like this. So I don't know. I thought it was a very intense scene, a very Game of Thrones-ish scene, and I did appreciate them putting the scene in. I think that it was better than the Jon Snow Lyanna scene.
Real quick, I know Phil, you were mentioned like there's a call or something, but I just want to give a shout out. So I've been like tracking some of these actors' Instagrams like before and after episodes. Like Millie Alcock, hers is exploding, right? So I looked at the other day. I was looking at Patty Considine's actually today, and he had a picture with him with the actress who played Queen Emma. And I looked at her Instagram. It's wild that someone like she was so ridiculously talented, right? And she has like 3,000 followers on Instagram. I'm like, whoa, different generation. You know what I mean? Like they're just not interested in Instagram at all. But she was brilliant, really, really good.
First off, I don't know. Let me answer. Let me just say right here. Let me answer this question. I don't understand what you're saying here, but let me say. It says Tony Teflon. That is not a decision a man should make, and save yourself from further comments. I understand what you're saying there, but I did not say that the man he had the right to make that decision for her. I specifically just said that they should have asked her. I said that a lot of ladies would choose a child over themselves, but they should have asked her. That's what I said. So maybe you're not hearing what I'm saying. Maybe I'm reading your comment the wrong. If I am, it is what it is. But that's what I said specifically. I said they should have asked her. They should have got her response and not just did that to her and everything. All right, let's go through. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. All right, over 350 people in here rocking with us right now, you know what I mean? So make sure you hit that thumbs up. That's the way we get this thing spread and everything else going on. All right, so we're going over characters that we liked and how they were portrayed. So from the first episode, Bridge, who was your favorite character?
Favorite actor or favorite character?
Actor that played that character.
Come back to me for a second. I want to think about this.
All right, Alicia, we asked you that
question?
Wait,
no. I'll say it because I reached out to her today. I actually sent Millie Alcock a voice message. I think she's killing the role. She's like, because there are people like Patty Considine's the only actor whom I knew before this show. I expected him to be good. Someone like Matt Smith, I'd heard that he's good, and he better be because Damon's like my favorite character, and he's killing it. He's great. Minus spoilers, episode 2, he's even better. Like I'm loving this guy. He's great, right? But Millie Alcock, like she's first of all, she's younger, and I judge younger actors and actresses as being not as good as older ones because experience, right? But she's killing it, and it's a function partially of what they're writing for her character. But her character is just so strong in episode 1. I'm a really big fan of her, and so I sent her a voicemail. I'm like, good job, congrats, and thank you.
Alicia, who was your character? Did you say it already? Or no?
I think we talked about. Yeah, no, we talked about an actor that surprised us, or we think is going to do really
you
well.
were here for that. All right, so we'll go right to Greg. Greg, you didn't have a chance to answer. Who was your favorite?
I feel like y'all already know what I'm gonna say. It was Matt Smith. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Damon. It was Damon. And what sold Damon for me was the conversation that he had at the small council with Sir Otto, like that back and forth between him and Sir Otto. That's how I imagine Damon. And I also like that Air for a Day scene. I really like he showed so much range in one episode. Like he was sad, drinking at the table. Like he really looked sad. Like people were partying around him and he was in a hoe house, but he was sad.
I have a question. Do y'all, like, MJ and I already discussed it over on Direwolf City, but do the usual suspects believe that Damon actually said that shit?
The Air for the Day thing.
Yeah.
Yes and no. I think he was clearly sad at the beginning of that scene, right? And then it's like they silenced everybody and they put him in a spot like, yo, dude, make a speech. And he gave them what they wanted to hear. That's my interpretation, is that he said what they wanted him to say. But I mean, this is a dude that, like, my interpretation of him from episode 1 is this is a dude that like absolutely loves his brother. And even at the funeral scene, we saw how upset he was. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't buy the whole Otto Hightower thing. I think Otto, you leveraged it Otto's sneaky.
Yeah, I think it was kind of one of those situations where he was goaded into that. He was dealing with loss in the way that he deals with loss, and in that moment, he knows And I think he's probably my favorite character as well, because I think the show just feels better and on more edge every time he's on screen. I can't quite explain it, but every scene he's in, I feel the stakes are up a little bit. Like he can do anything at any time, which goes to what I was saying earlier about why that scene with the gold cloaks was so important to kind of show he had that in him. But then, like Gray was saying, and it tweeted some point, she could save him. He also has this like nice guy in there that you can see. And as Bridge was saying, in that moment when sitting there, you felt, at least I felt, a real love for his brother and a sadness for what his brother was going through in that moment. And even the moment where the two of them were arguing, I think a lot of his bang back to Viserys was false bravado because he was getting attacked. That's what he does. He has to come back at it. I think he truly loves his brother, and that came through a lot more than I thought I was going to see on screen. And I think that's just a credit to Matt Smith as an actor and the multiple layers he can play all at the same time. And yeah, I think I wasn't sold on him in the pre-casting, but now he won me over in the first episode. And again, minor spoiler, even better in episode 2. He's better. The show's better when he's on screen.
Yeah, he didn't deny it.
Exactly.
They asked him, "Did you say it?" He didn't say, "I didn't say that." So what are you talking about? So he definitely said it. That's that. And I think
I have a theory on why he didn't deny it. And anyone who's ever listen, anyone who's ever had a years-long tiff with a sibling would understand why he wouldn't feel that, like, especially with Otto lurking about, like, nah, 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 nah. You know, like, there comes a certain point where somebody hurts you so bad just because they believe something before they have a chance to talk to you as a sibling, that you kind of go into, you know what, if that's what you want to believe, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Like, you go into like kind of fuck you mode and you shut down by being like, if that's what you want to believe, then fine, sure, whatever. You know, if Otto is the, hoe over bro he wants to choose, then sure.
Yeah.
I think he would have said, "What are you talking about?" I didn't say anything like that, especially the fact that Otto told him. I don't think he'd want to give Otto the satisfaction. I think what they're trying to set up is this, that Daemon's actions are giving Otto the ammunition to go to the king and say these things. Like him doing the things with the gold cloaks. Yes, he did it. Now, did he do it for a good reason? Did he do it because that's the way you had? This is what it takes. Regardless, he did it. Otto dropped dime on him. He went, and regardless, he was in the whorehouse, and he said what he had to say. Whether he was feeling bad about it, we don't know. We see it, but he did say it, which gave Otto the ammunition to say it. And I think that's what they're trying to portray, that his big mouth, regardless whether it's right or wrong, it depends whose side you're looking at it from.
There's
Otto's side or Daemon's side. Who you gonna believe? But I believe that's what they're trying to set up with this thing.
There's a reason that they did not show him saying that. They cut it out as soon as he raised the toast.
But if he had said one more line, it would have rhymed. And actually, that just rhymed as well. Line. Listen, right? He goes, King, because first of all, we saw he was sad, right? And then he's like, he regretfully like sort of stands up. Then he goes, "King and council have long ruled my position as next in line for the throne. But dream and pray as they all might, it seems I'm not so easily replaced." And then here's the last line before they cut it off. He goes, "The gods give just as the gods take away." And then it says, he probably was like, "Let's toast to the air for a day." You know, it just fits really perfectly if that was his next line.
Bars, Bridge.
So you're saying he did it on some Doctor
New Jeru in the building. And yeah, so that's what I think. That to me, that's why I think they're going with it, and that's why they did it and everything. But I definitely think he did it. But it's about they're trying to make you, I think, in the show, pick a side. Who are you with? Are you with Otto Hightower and them, or are you with Daemon and them? Whose side are you on? Now, let's talk about real quick Otto Hightower. We're talking about him.
Yeah, who's rooting for him? Ugh.
I mean, the fact that he basically said, listen to his daughter, go put your mother's dress on and go fuck the king.
Yeah.
You know?
not that dress. That dress. That one.
You know what's so incredibly creepy about that? Like the fact that Otto was like, yes,
For
yes, that's the
everything?
dress that I liked when I fucked your mother. Go put it on to go fuck the king. Like, just no.
Yeah, that's gross. But I do want to like. I know I hate Otto, but the actor that's playing Otto is really doing a good job because
Yeah.
he's selling the character.
Mhm.
Yes, sir. You make me hate Sir Otto even more. Thank you.
No doubt. Kelly Johnson, thank you for the super chat. Says T, the girls will always ride with the bad boy. Yes, we know.
I don't know about that, but
Yeah. I think you do.
He has a dragon.
He does have a dragon. I think you can
It
say
has a really long neck.
Really long neck. You know what that means.
do you think they did that? No, I honestly believe that they did that not because he's called the Bloodworm, but because they wanted to make sure that Caraxes had big dick energy. They wanted to give you the visual of him and Daemon having big dick energy. That is just too damn long of a neck.
Yeah, the neck
really
is long as Fizzuck. I mean, without a shadow of a doubt, it's a snake neck.
I don't know. To me, like I love Caraxes, but to me, it is Cyrex all day. Cyrex is
right.
I love Cyrex.
I want.
Oh yeah, I thought you loved Caraxes.
I do, but like after looking at those close-up images of Cyrex, the high def ones, I just think her face is just so cute. It's just so cute, and it just is so different from all the other dragons. And people were like calling her ugly, saying she was the ugly dragon.
Really?
So yeah. So now I
just wait till Vhagar enters the building.
Yeah, and she's falling apart.
All right, look, thank you for the super chat. For my peoples, find out. Otto Hightower, thanks for coming to my TED Talks. Thank you for the super chat. Truly appreciate. Again, you can call in 781-990-8509. 781-990-8509. You can call in and leave a voicemail. We'll play it live on the air. You can also become a member of Teflon TV. Please do so if you can. And you could also gift the membership to somebody if you want. We have over 420 people watching here.
Ooh,
please hit that thumbs up button if you can. Spread this across the room. We're going to be on here for a half an hour more before we go.
Share it with your friends. Send a raven.
Send a raven. There you go. Drop that raven. You know what I mean? All right. So we talk about Otto and him basically telling his daughter to go fuck the king. That's what we were talking about. Yep. And wear your mama's dress. Put your mama's dress on, like you know what I mean. How did he know the king would like that mama's dress? Now, would you have liked it better? Let's talk about this. If they were book accurate with Alicent's age, if she was older, do you like it better with her being younger?
Better, but it's still creepy. I mean, it's still a little weird if you have I don't know, if a father is like telling his daughter to do that, or a mother's like, hey Phil. If my mom was like, hey, go bang the queen, it would be a little weird. It just would for me, it would be a little awkward. I don't want to disparage anyone's dynamic they have with their mother or father, and I appreciate that, but maybe a little bit, maybe it would be less creepy, but still it would still be a little weird.
I think it's definitely weirder the younger she is, but I've said it a dozen times, I'll say it again. It's just a very big Anne Boleyn vibe, in my opinion. I think her father definitely.
Vibe? What?
Anne Boleyn.
Anne Boleyn, like the girl who got her head chopped off?
Yeah.
How does I don't know. What did she do? I only know that she got her head chopped off.
So her father, Thomas Boleyn, very much pressured both of his girls, Mary and Anne. Oh. It's just that Anne married Henry VIII. He pressured both of them to become mistress to the king and try to get the king to convert to Protestantism. So he could marry one of the Boleyn girls. So he had to divorce. Yeah, he had to divorce Catherine of Aragon. I almost said Aragorn, but yeah, it was this whole thing. And my axe.
And Henry went with it because he wanted a son so bad. And
then who ended up chopping off her head?
Henry. She didn't
So
give
he-
him a son. She didn't give
he
him a
got
son.
mad that
She gave him a daughter, and then she like had difficulty with pregnancy because he has syphilis. Like, let's not.
What is the rhyme? What is the rhyme that is known about them all?
Oh, divorced, beheaded, dead. Divorced, beheaded, survived. No, it's like divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded, survived.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the rhyme.
That's what happened to his.
His
So
six wives.
I have a question for everybody in the sense of this versus the original Game of Thrones series. Is seeing something like this creepier and more uncomfortable than seeing Jaime and Cersei banging in the first episode? Like, what is?
That's apples and oranges, I think.
I mean, they're both awkwardly creepy.
It's just it's a throne show. I don't know how else to,
it's not real.
Nature of the beast. But it's I don't know. I felt most uncomfortable probably finding out that Jaime and Cersei were siblings that were banging.
Yeah.
However, I think I become desensitized to it because I'm like, woohoo, Targaryen show. But I mean, to me, it's just so creepy that the callousness and the stoicism that Otto showed when he's like, go to the king's bedchambers, wear your mother's dress. That was, I don't want to say it was the most disturbing part, but it added quite a few disturbing volumes to it.
I think it's needed, right? Because you need to make Alicent more sympathetic. And that does make her more sympathetic, to see her like picking the skin off her fingernails, seeing her how her dad's using her, to see her
when her voice was cracking when she was talking to the king.
Yeah, it makes her more sympathetic. And you don't want a show where it's just like, oh, bad greens bad, greens bad, greens are so bad. You want like that dimension to it where you don't know who to root for, and even though you know Rhaenyra has the rightful claim, she kind of has a point over here on this side. So I like the conflict that it sets up.
My prediction is they're going to set it up because it's the way I've always viewed. Okay, never mind, because spoilers will be abound. Never mind. But as non-spoilery as I can, anything that Alicent does, I think it's showing us that all of this started because Otto pushed Alicent off onto Viserys and pressured her into it. So I feel like anything that Alicent does going forward after this, I think she's genuinely trying to protect her and hers.
I think it just shows again how women. They showed in this episode, it showed that women, they're nothing more than bargaining chips in this world. Yeah. That's all they're for. They're there to have babies, and doesn't matter about your life. And if you can't provide one, you got to go. And you're bargaining chip to help off the family. You are to go there, marry this man. Don't care if you're attracted to him or not. Just do it to advance the family. That's the role of the woman in this show. And I think that they did a good job of showing that. It's disgusting in itself, but it just shows that that's all they truly are. You hear Cersei say it before. That she was sold off like a piece of cattle. Right, that's all her value was, and she wished it was more than that. So I think that they just keep going on with that, showing that right now, and I think you're going to see more of that. And this is just what it is and stuff for the ladies in this type of generation.
Tony, to get back to the voicemails, this is from area code 410.
Hey Tony, what's up? It's Q Dog out of Baltimore. Hey, I like to say, as far as that Damon Air for a Day stuff, I got a brother, younger brother. He's a year and a half younger than me, but we're the same size. And neither one of us is the king over one each other. But like, there's times I tell him to go fuck himself. And there's some times when it's serious between us, right? We might be talking about it, his wife, and he might tell me to go fuck myself, and it might be serious than it usually is. So I say that king for a day thing might have been taken out of context. Damon inside might have felt like, are, happy for his place in the succession, but I think maybe he felt that maybe that's not the way it came out, basically, is what I'm trying to say, and they didn't show it, so they leave it up to our own imagination. So that's all I got to say. Peace. All right, y'all.
Good looks for the phone call. I feel what you're saying, bro, and I understand what with Gray and the point that he's just fed up with it, and at that point he's like, you know what? If you want to believe that about me, then go ahead. I'm not going to deny. Just go ahead and believe it. I ain't got no time to be arguing with you. But we did see him start to argue a little bit later. You didn't even ask me to be your hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, as I said earlier, I think a lot of that was him saving face in the moment because he had to, like if you start yelling at me for no reason, Tony, I would start defending myself, even though I have nothing to defend myself on. I'd be like, oh, but yeah, man, and your Yankee hat is on straight. I just say stuff and I like defend my point. Even though I couldn't really do it if otherwise I just get run over in that moment. So I think Daemon had to. He's not someone that's going to sit there and get told off even by his brother, the king. He's gonna spit back.
I agree with what you're saying, Phil, and I think just to further your point, Viserys had already said Sir Otto is a more honorable man than you'll ever be. So even if Daemon denies it, is he gonna believe him? Is Viserys gonna believe him if he denies it? So he took his dignity and he left.
I think too, I would be really put off because instead of Viserys, Viserys already decided he believed it, and Daemon knew it because instead of Viserys calling him and having a private conversation as brothers, he summoned him to the Iron Throne, where Viserys is wearing his crown, sitting on the throne with black fire, unsheathed. Daemon already knew that Viserys made up his mind, and I think he just kind of doubled down on whatever stance he took. So I did enjoy hearing Daemon call Otto a cunt. That was chef's kiss. But
thank you for the super chat, Mod. Mary says, asking this panel, knowing what you know about being born into royalty, the realm owns your future, i.e., who you marry, and your womb belongs to the realm. Would you rather be small folk or highborn? What would you rather be?
I'd rather be highborn.
Not live in Westeros. Oh, yeah, what she said.
I'd rather be highborn because I feel like small folk or highborn women go through the same shit. So I'd rather be rich and going through the same shit than poor and going through it.
I just would rather not live in that time period.
I mean, that wasn't an option.
God, okay. I guess I'd be highborn because I at least want to eat if I'm going to go through the same shit. I at least want reliable meals on the table.
I'd rather be highborn if I was in there just because you can get better training. You get better training, fighting, sword training and stuff than you would if you were lowborn. So I'd rather just be highborn for that reason. What about you, Bridge?
I was
you
actually.
Guys don't have wombs.
Yeah.
I know. I'm right. She said asking this panel. I know.
Okay. All right.
But she did say the panel. We're all in the panel together. So let us get our little piece in here too. We want to be highborn too. Goddammit. What about you, Bridge? What were you?
Yeah, it's definitely not as bad for highborn men, but because of the power dynamic or whatever. But then it is for highborn women. But they still get sold off like brood mares or whatever too. I can't stand the highborn. I don't know if Miss Duncan the Tall is still in the chat. I was going off to her yesterday about how I can't stand good Queen Alysanne. I can't stand good King Jaehaerys, and they're supposedly two of the best. I think they all stink. One of the only Targaryens I actually like is Sarah. She left the whole family and she became a whore. I think she's awesome. So yeah, screw them all. I'd be lowborn.
All right. What about you, Phil?
I'd probably find my way down to Dorne or something like that.
I feel you. Sounds fun.
Dorne would be the place to be if you had to go anywhere. I mean, that's the place to live, right there.
I feel like I'm already Dornish.
It's too warm. Who wants to go there? It's
beautiful. I live there.
You could just do what you want. You just freer down there.
That's true.
You just ain't got them damn rules that they got over here and everything else. Dorne, you just get to do you, and that's what I want to do. I mean, listen, Rhaegar, he built his goddamn tower there, Tower of Love, or whatever you want to call it, of joy.
Tower of Love.
Tower of
Do you
joy.
think it had mirrors on the ceilings and a heart-shaped bed?
You know,
That's what Dorne's
a
all
hot
about.
tub.
That's what Dorne's all about, Alicia.
Let me tell you something. A very traumatic situation when I got older in my life was when I was little, and I used to jump on my parents' bed, and I used to look above, and I used to wave they had this mirror there, and I used to wave at it all the time. And then when I got older and I realized what that mirror was, I started crying like, my mama ass in the mirror. My mama ass in the mirror. But I used to jump on the bed and look up and wave at myself all the time.
Oh, bless.
You know, my parents was in the 70s, man. You know what it was up there. Mike, thank you for the super chat. Who has more power, the High Towers or the Maesters?
The Maesters.
Or is it the same power?
I would
don't
say they
know.
work together. I feel like they work together. They're both based in Old Town. There's no way they're not.
I just really feel like a lot of the High Towers dabble in magic. So I wouldn't be surprised if they at least like correspond a lot with the I don't know. I get big like Rhaegar and Aemon vibes between the High Towers and the Maesters, if that even made sense.
Yeah, it makes
Who
sense.
has more power, the sock puppet or the hand? The man. Good point. I say sock puppet.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing.
It's generally the same thing, but I think when it comes to the long-term reach of the power, the Maesters have the advantage if we think about everything that they're in everywhere. But I think if talking about this particular situation in the dynamic of the power of what the story that we've seen, I think it's about even. I think they're hand in hand. But I think if we look as a whole, the Maesters have a lot of transitional power. Sorry, Bridge.
You know how oh, Bridge, you were talking. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I've never been just too interested in the Maesters the way that many of you guys are. But so if we look at some of like the assassinations, though, it's like were the High Towers involved in those? If so, to me, it seems like the High Towers, like talking about the puppet and the sock puppet in the hand. If anything, to me, the High Towers have more power because like they guide the Maesters, and then when the Maesters don't do what they want, they kill them and replace them.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where Maesters definitely have a lot more reach because how many times throughout Song of Ice and Fire series proper you've read that a particular character mentioned something about not trusting their Maester, but you know, it is what it is because they were sent from Old Town, yada yada. Like the Maesters can essentially go wherever they want to go, whether their lord trusts them or not. Whereas like it's not like the High Towers can install themselves
And they write the
in
history
every single
too.
house. Yeah.
Do you guys remember?
So. Go ahead.
Do you guys remember the scene from Game of Thrones? It was cut out, so you might not have seen it. It was a deleted scene, but it was between Tywin and Maester Pycelle. Tywin's fishing in King's Landing.
Yeah.
And so Maester Pycelle's always is like, no matter what, I've always served House Lannister. So Mellos gives me those vibes. He definitely serves Sir Otto and not the king. Like literally, I seen Girl Nettles quote a picture and it has the Maester like whispering to Otto, and he's like, tell Alicent to shave her kitty. Her role to play is coming up. Like, and I really believe that. Like, I really believe the Maesters helped get rid of Aemma, get her out the way.
Did you see Kelly's question, Tone?
Yeah, it's the same question. I've given him the answer to this whole thing. He always answered every episode. I will say that, you know, religious, when it comes to religion, I don't know if you want to consider the Masons religion or anything, but religious people always have more power than the king. In my book, the priests have more power than all of them, and it's all said and done. Because the religious have the backing of the small folk, the people. Right? You can't just go kill a religious figure if you're a king, because the people will revolt and come and get you. So I think the religious people always have the more power than the king and everything. Me personally, I think that those are that's why the king has to work by. You know, you get crowned.
Think about how many times even Cersei thinks to herself she's got to appease the High Septon.
Mm-hmm. And that's true for like if you like real world medieval Tudor England, like the Catholic Church, Rome. They had Henry VIII on like you can't marry her, and he's like, I'm gonna be Protestant then. fuck the church. Like the church is
And
the real power.
And what I was saying too in passing was the maesters also write the history and interpret it to a certain extent too. So that works a lot of influence and power, just even within whispers and stuff. That's influences the way people look at things within the world.
To play devil's advocate though, someone like Maester Lewin, he doesn't seem like someone that's playing any type of game. He just seems like a good guy who's a maester. And also, there's two different types of maesters, or two different paths you can sort of go down. Like they're like, I forget which son, I think it was Vagon or Vaemon, something like that. One of Jaehaerys' sons was very like, he was a loner, right? And so then they're like, what do we do with this kid? Maybe we send him down to the Citadel. And then someone's like, well, can you really picture him like being a maester and helping people out? And they're like, no, I can't picture him being a maester, but I can picture him being an archmaester. So an archmaester is someone who does like more like a college professor who does studies, as opposed to someone who goes to a castle and is a healer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, these are people. Like the maesters, at the end of the day, they're people, and people, all different kinds of people have their own agendas for things that they do. Like we have Marwyn, who has like this whole secret agenda. We don't really know what it is, but he has like a whole secret agenda. And then there's like Sam. We know Sam's gonna be a maester. Do you think Sam's gonna be a bad guy? No, but even while he was training at the Citadel, he had like he wanted to read, well, in the show he wanted to read and find out about long nights. He was reading secret books and stuff because he had his own agenda. So they're people.
Thank you for the super chat, Ryan. It's it's Thug Mug Tuck. I should have the Thug Mug with me. It's over there. That's why I'm holding this in hand. But next week I'll definitely bust a Thug Mug out for you without a shadow of a doubt. And that's the reason why they don't say the last names, right? Of the maesters, they take away their last name because they're not supposed to be loyal to the family. But you're always going to be loyal to the family. You don't have to have the last name. Now, your last name, you're going to be loyal to that family no matter what. So if you have an agenda, if you're a Bolton and you become a maester, and you're a Bolton, you're going to do some stuff for your house. You know what I mean? No matter what, I think, that's just the way it is and stuff.
Wasn't it Lady Barbary Dustin that like said the maester that was in Winterfell when the Tully marriages happened was from House Tully or from the Riverlands?
Yes, Barbary Dustin did blow up those maces. Spot. Barbie Dustin.
She was a sad. She's sad.
And the maester that's with Stannis in the Winds of Winter chapter that gets caught is a Bolton maester. Sending the letters back, and he caught him, and that's when he catches him. He's like, "Oh, what are you doing with us?" Blah blah.
Oh, the one that pees in his robe.
Yeah, the one that pees in his robe.
Yo, Grant, I don't remember the exact quote. I know that Lady Dustin was speaking about the maesters and how like they're evil, especially in the time of like Rickard Stark, like about the whole like Southern conspiracy, having Southern ambitions, right? Mm-hmm. But in terms of the one you just mentioned, someone from the Riverlands, I'm pretty sure Maester Lewin actually was from the Riverlands. He gave birth to, or he helped birth Robb Stark down at Riverrun, and then he followed them up to.
So was she talking about Maester Lewin? I thought it was I thought it was a different maester.
No, I feel like. Yeah, I'm not sure if she said Riverlands, but I wonder if she was speaking about like Maester Lewin being shady. Then I don't know. She may have been off on that one.
Yeah, she was off.
Imagine Lewin was shady.
Lewin. Yeah, he's not shady.
Yeah.
Tony, we do have another voicemail when you're ready.
Great. Let's hit that voicemail. Let's hit it up.
Okay, here we go. Area code 708.
Oh my God, that old man greeting is absolutely great. Hey guys, it's Lord Corlys Velaryon. I just wanted to know, like, what are your guys' thoughts on the emphasis that the show seems to be putting with Viserys and showing him holding Blackfire? Like, I know Viserys isn't the most martial of kings, but it seems like the show is really honing in on showing Viserys, like, wielding Blackfire when he's doing kingly shit. Like, even in promos for, like, future episodes, we keep seeing Viserys with Blackfire. And I don't know, personally, I just think it's really cool. So I just wanted to know, what are your thoughts on it? And could that be a clue and sort of the direction, they may go in the future with other projects, because we do know how important Blackfire becomes later down the line. So really curious to hear your thoughts. And, as always, thanks, guys. You guys are the best.
Thank you so much. What do you guys think about that?
I think, I think that it is a symbol of power. And so he holds it up at the throne with him. Just because think about, I believe his great-grandfather. Yeah, his great-grandfather Rhaenys made the mistake of giving Blackfire to his brother Maegor. And how so many people, even the small folk, were like, what? Because it's God, I'm not very eloquent right now. Like, it's like a visual of being king. So even if Viserys doesn't wield it, he's holding Blackfire. He unsheathes it. He holds it at the throne with him. It's this symbol of power.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. And I think they're trying to show the people watching, like, hey, this is the king's sword. This is a sign of legitimacy. Who will have this sword next?
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Can I say also, just from a marketing perspective, they're going to have it on screen as much as possible, because then they could sell more Blackfire merchandise. Who, real quick, was that Lord Corlys Whitefire? Whose voicemail was that? I feel like
that was
Corlys Whitefire.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think KP says it perfectly right here. Blackfire is Viserys' only symbol of power, given he has no dragon.
Good point.
And I think that is
Well
true.
said.
He's just he just has the sword up there to let you know I'm the king, motherfucker, not just your brother. Understand who you're talking to right at this moment. You're not talking to your brother. You're talking about to the king. Hey, he even threatens to cut his tongue out. And everything. So
I want to know how old and decrepit Velaryon was when Viserys mounted him.
Well, once we see Vhagar, we'll find out.
We might get a call with a description of that.
Alicia, I think I take this with a wheelbarrow full of salt, but I think that he rode Balerion one time, and then Balerion died a year later. So he was to answer your question, very old. Yeah, I'm pretty sure
one ride.
He took one ride on him, I think. I think it's a really tragic story. Take that with a major grain of salt, but that's my vague memory.
Okay, but here's the thing. Like, why there are parts of me that like make so much fun of Viserys, because it's like, of course he chose like this old and done dragon, and then he never claimed another one after that. But really, if Balerion had like one last claiming in him, and Balerion was bending his neck to you, who wouldn't hop on that old ass, falling apart, rusty ass dragon? Who among us? I need to know.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't either, Phil, because I would want a dragon for the rest of my life. And not just one day.
No, just because a dragon dies doesn't mean like you have to not have another dragon after that, because I believe it's Rhaena. Rhaena has a dragon when she's little, and then that dragon dies. And so she gets a dragon egg, and she ends up bonding with Morning.
Did she ever ride it?
Morning?
No, not Morning, the other one. The one that died.
No, but it's written like there's significance behind bonding with the hatchling.
Because I heard that two riders can't they say Visenya could never get on Balerion and
right, but Vhagar outlived Visenya. Like, I think like if you're bonded to a dragon, one of you has to die before you move on to another dragon or rider. So I think like, because think about it, gosh, never mind, it's a spoiler, but there's a particular character that does lose a dragon. Actually, a couple of characters that lose dragons in the books, and they think to themselves, in the Fire and Blood book, and they think to themselves, like, I gotta claim another dragon. So it's precedented.
Do they ever do it though? Because I don't think they do.
You know what?
If they can, then I would. Of course, I'd ride Balerion. But if I can only have one dragon ever, then no, I wouldn't ride Balerion.
Yeah.
Well, same.
Good point, Chris. If you can
Hi,
only have
Balerion.
one, you want to get it when it's a baby, right?
I would want Silverwing if I was claiming somebody.
I can't wait to see
that person's dragon. Speaking of dragons, I can't wait to see Sunfire because Cyrax looks amazing. So I want to know, like, objectively, Sunfire was like the most beautiful dragon. I need to see this.
Sunfire, I don't know who's coming out with a thong on or what. I don't know. They're gonna do something to make this dragon look better than that.
Well, he's gold. He's gold, and he has pink membranes. Is his fire pink?
I hope so. I bet they're gonna make his scales really iridescent.
I thought
He's saying that he's coming out there like a hoochie daddy dragon. Is that how he's going to be dressed?
He's coming on his hoochie daddy.
He's coming out straight slut dragon, hoochie daddy dragon.
Tony, speaking of which, I think we have a special message here. Let me play this. Here we go.
Okay, let's listen.
Nana, over here, right here. The nice man on the phone wants to know about Velaryon. Velaryon, you remember Velaryon, right?
Yes, Velaryon. He always used to leave his underwear on the floor in the bathroom, and he wasn't very good about cleaning up his whiskers. Very large, very hungry. What do you want me to say? Hey, where'd you go? Where is my Werther's originals?
Thank you.
Hey.
Sorry, I added some digital effects to your voice.
Listen, don't sleep on Werther's.
Those things are delicious, especially when you first put them in the mouth. Like I usually spit them out, but that first 30 seconds on a Werther's is effing delicious.
I mean, that's how I used to know. I was at my mama's house because there was a bowl of Werther's on the table every time. Jenna S., thank you so much for the chat. It says, let the party, late to the party, but want to share some love, everybody. Glad to see you. Thank you so much. And also, if you want to share some love, you can become a member of Teflon TV. Definitely become a member. And if you don't want to be a member, you can gift the membership to somebody else. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Become a member of Teflon TV. Straight up. All right. So we're not going to talk about predictions for this because certain people have seen this episode already.
Can I talk about predictions then?
But you can give your predictions.
Okay. I predict that I don't even fucking know. I didn't even watch a preview for I did see a small snippet. Yeah, I don't have predictions. I didn't really watch anything. I do think that Oh, go ahead.
Here, let me frame it for you, right? So at the end of the last episode, they went through the whole like tourney, whatever. Episode 1, they did the whole tourney, and then there was the Emma was pregnant. She had her issue with the baby, and then
are you
there was
trying to hint to lead me into a prediction?
Yeah, I'm going to remind you like where we went, and it's like where these main plots are going to go. Then you have the heir for a day, right? And then Daemon flies off with Missaria, and then Rhaenyra is like he's smiling with all the lords bending the knee to her.
I don't think she was smiling because she took a deep fucking breath, like.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, she did take a deep breath,
which I thought was great acting by her that she did that because like she didn't just get in there like I'm the queen motherfucker. Like she felt the weight of what was being asked of her at that particular time.
Yeah.
When she turned around and she was just like, whew. Okay.
No, you're accurate. I was like stuttering my words because I'm just so afraid of spoiling what comes right at next. You know what I mean? So I was like, and then she got the throne.
Okay, I predict Kristen Cole is gonna start moving in to try to get his Nornish duck wet.
Don't you go bow.
I did peek a still of Daemon with a black dragon's egg at Dragonstone. So obviously I think some shit's gonna go down at Dragonstone. I do think it'll be interesting to see Rhaenyra, because I know Rhaenyra shows up. So I think it'll be interesting to see Rhaenyra and Daemon interact with each other after she's been named heir. So I think that might be a pretty interesting scene right there. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to predict when I don't know every little detail. There's going to be stuff that shocks me along the way. However, the overall story, I know everything that happens. So my predictions out loud would more be like, I think this is the plot line that's going to be touched down upon during this episode.
Yeah, as you started answering, I was like, wait a second, we can't really do this.
You see, it's like, stop smiling. It feels like spoilers, Bridge. You're smiling too hard.
I was to be honest, I completely did make some faces there. Like I specifically smiled during things. I specifically smiled to like mislead and because I found myself smiling things that were true. So, yeah, so it's very. You can't trust my face in the last couple minutes there.
Listen, there is only one stream in which I have seen Bridge not smile the whole time, and everyone in this stream knows which one I'm talking about. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't remember.
I remember.
I remember.
Dr. Matthew says, so Christian Cole is a cutie.
Oh, I mean, I'd hit it.
He's evil. He's evil.
I didn't say I would marry him and not like let my dragon eat him later, but you know, well, times were still good.
Yeah, in
Sample
Marry
some of
Fuck
that
Kill, he
Dornish
wouldn't be
sweater.
on the death. He wouldn't be on the deathbed in Marry Fuck Kill.
Right, he'd be fucking then kill.
All right,
No.
marry, fuck, kill right now, real quick. We're gonna go around the board.
Oh,
I'm
God.
going to marry Eve Best.
Okay.
I'm going to have sex with
Damon.
Yeah, you've run out of women of age.
Yeah, everyone else is creepy. Everyone else is creepy, Tony.
I have nothing else to say. I'm stuck here. I'm gonna say grown up Alicent.
No, you can't.
Okay.
You haven't seen her yet.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen it in the previews. God damn it! And I'm gonna have to kill. I'm gonna have to kill Rhaenyra.
Oh.
What?
Oh. Okay. I got it. I would marry. This is weird because I also claim him as my. No, I can't say it. Okay. If we separate the fact that I always call him my dad, just for anyway, he's not really my dad. I would marry Corlys. I'd marry Corlys, fuck Kristen Cole, and then I would kill Viserys, the Maesters, Otto.
She's gonna kill everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah.
All right, we killing everybody else. We got it. Gray, who you go?
Damon.
No. I would marry Cyrax. Marry me to a dragon. I would marry Cyrax.
You'd marry a lesbian
Yes.
dragon? Okay.
Yes. And I'd marry Cyrax. I'd fuck Damon and I'd kill Sir Otto.
All right, Phil.
I think I have the same answer as you. I'd marry the queen that never was. I'd bang older Alicent and probably kill Rhaenyra and take her dragon if I could.
Bridge.
I would F like one of the septas because I don't think you're supposed to, so that'd be kind of fun. It'd be naughty. You know what I mean? I would marry Missaria. She's like my type of girl. She's awesome, and I'd kill Emma because she deserves it. She deserves to go down.
Oh. Wow, I wasn't expecting any of that.
No,
All right.
I was kidding. Like, Emma's awesome. I'd probably marry Emma.
That is what's up. We're going to end it on that. I want y'all to have great time watching the show. Again, at the end of when the episode is over, you can go and check out Phil, the issues guy. He will be doing a great post-game show, and you can also bounce back and forth to David Lightbringer, who will be doing that. So bounce back to Phil, go get some people, move back him and Dave, and keep going back and forth.
Ping pong. We're the only two people doing it.
Let's trend those people all the way to the top.
Only
of it.
two.
We're the only two.
The only two.
And that's it. Those are the two channels to go see. Let's trend them to the top. We'll be back next week and with our other friends and everything else. And maybe we'll get Dave to come on here and rock with us next week for a little bit and stuff like that. But again, if I thought we'd do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and as always, subscribe.
Stay sexy.
Until next time.
And subscribe.
We got and until next time.
He is trolling you
Stay
today.
Peace and
stay sexy.